In this session, we will explore the task board. The task board is used on two occasions. One is during the sprint planning exercise, where new tasks are created corresponding to the stories and time is estimated for these tasks. The second, when you want to manage the sprint, you want to monitor the sprint's progress, then task board is what comes handy for the team. We begin by just exploring what the visual layout of the screen is. To begin with, we have a four column layout here with stories on the left hand side and 3 columns on the right, which basically list the task corresponding to the story. So these 3 lanes basically have tasks with different statuses, which are to do, doing and done. Okay, let's begin by creating a story first, okay, because you can also add stories in case you discover one. So one fresh story goes here. Okay, so this is a 6 story point story. There's no description. I mark the review story and I give it a couple and I save it. So the story will be added to the end. One fresh story goes here, right? So we have already added a new story here. We will just add one task corresponding to that story and move from here. So code the fresh story, and we will say this is a 8-hour task, and we mark it for couple. We can add more stories. Code review for fresh story, and estimated hours are 2, and this is what summary does. So now we have added 2 stories here. Okay, for one fresh story goes here story. One is for coding, the other is for the review of the code. Now when Kapil will start work on this, he will drag the story. He'll drag the story from to do column to the doing column, and at the end of the day he would have spent some amount of time, so he would book the time for this particular task of the story. So if he has spent say 4 hours on this and he thinks that maybe still 6 hours need to be done, so he will enter 6 and he will book the date on which he has done. So here it goes. So the 6 hours that are remaining still appear here on the right hand side. Okay, so he can every day when he finishes work at the end of the day, he can enter the book time. So this is used basically for drawing the burn down charts, etc. So we have a story, we have created a story, we have moved it from to do to doing, and in the end when he would have finished the task, so let us just finish the task and say 6 hours remaining, 6 hours done, and so now remaining time is 0, so it means that it has already been finished. We'll move it to the done column, and we can also mark the story status as started and completed here. So we will click on this, and this should ideally be done when the first story starts, so it moves from the to do column to the doing column, but there is no tight integration between these two, and it can be marked at any point in time also. This has been essentially done so that in case for teams who do not want to create tasks for their stories, they can still mark the story as started and completed. Okay. In the end, when all the stories will move from to do to done, then all the stories will move to done, and we can then mark the story as complete. Okay. Now there are 2 more things here that I would like to talk about. One is the icon here. Clicking on this will show you the details of the story, right? The other is the message. you can message regarding the story to message to you. So I can send a message to anyone that I want to send a message to. This message remains in context of the story, so at any other point in time also when you click on the story, it will show you the here it will show you the message. When all the stories of a sprint are completed, then you can mark the sprint as completed. Okay. Once the sprint has been marked completed, it will just vanish from this page, and if there is any other ongoing sprint, it will show you that sprint. Okay. Then on the left hand side we have the filters. The filters are used basically to filter, get a subset of the stories that are there in the sprint based upon status, priority, or if you want to see stories where you are involved or in the as a story owner or as the task owner, then you can click on mine. Okay. If there are 2 or more sprints going on because there are multiple teams and each of them is working on it, then you can click on this and you can choose the sprint that you would like to see and focus on. Okay. On the right hand side we have the name of the sprint and the figures for the planned hours, spent hours and remaining hours. This can be used for monitoring the sprint. You can also edit the task here. You can change the details. And you can also delete the task if you deem it fit. Okay. This is all about task board. Thanks so much for your time.